Last summer as an UEFA Academy Chansave, Michal Novak got second place in the world Golden Glove. We're now on the 31st December, the winter breaks arrived, and has Michal Novak got the top 3 of the FIFA's Best Men's Goalkeeper Award? No, he hasn't. In fact, his replacement might be the best goalkeeper I've ever seen. Ahmed Abdullah Juma is Spanish, and he's at Man City. And he's pretty ridiculous, isn't he? I thought this would be the time to introduce you to perhaps the best goalkeeper I'll ever see, the best goalkeeper you will probably ever see, and pretty much as close to perfection as you're going to get in Football Manager, because this guy is really good. And with this guy instead of Michal Novak in the best goalkeeper of the world, it's not a shock to see why that's the case. He's absolutely incredible. And he could have been playing for the UAE. So there's that. But we've had a lot of games since we last met, and the first of which was a 1-0 defeat to Legia Warsaw. This is weird. Don't know how this happened, but it did. And I'm very disappointed with the fact we didn't get a single shot on target, and that we lost by a goal to 0. At least we bounced back in the next game against Dynamo Kyiv in the league phase of the Champions League by beating them by a goal to 0. Davidovich showing once again why he's quite good in the Champions League this year and why we are a team to look out for. Another win to our collection. We then took a putback Nazisa and Polachowski got a hat-trick. So, very good performance, even if they tried to play party pooper very early on when they were already 3-0 down. But we got the win, and that's all I care about. We then took a Zenit in the second round of the Pohapalski and went 1-0 down inside the first minute, but then scored 3 goals in a space of 12 minutes to ensure we weren't going to lose this game. We're looking at the defender's crown. I don't want to lose it. We then took in MacLeod and somehow only drew 0-0. Their goalkeeper was really good, and perhaps we should be disappointed with the fact we only got a 0-0 draw. We need to do better with these opportunities, don't we? And then the biggest result of the save happened so far. We hosted PSG in the league phase of the Champions League and beat them by 2-1 to ensure we've got 10 points in our first 4 matches of the Champions League, and that we've beaten perhaps the best team we've ever beaten so far. It's outstanding, it's delightful, we were 2-0 up inside 30 minutes. I couldn't believe it was going well. Then they scored in the 76th minute. I thought, okay, might need to be a bit more patient here. Then they hit the post in the 85th minute, and I just went full defensive, shut up shop, and we won. So, PSG, beaten. Does that mean that the French leagues could be something we can tackle next year? Maybe. I have to think about that for next year as well. I have an idea where I want to go for next year, but if we can beat PSG with a Polish team, a foolish Polish team no less, and a team that is completely homegrown, who's to say we can't beat everyone else in this competition now, eh? PSG are a benchmark for good things normally, when it comes to beating the big teams. We then took a miss at Nicia, and we beat them by goals inside 5 minutes. Rubulski with the only goal of the game. We did rotate for this match because of the PSG game. We looked quite good, and we got the win. So, as far as I'm concerned, a good result, especially when you consider the fact this side was very rotated. We then took on Wisla Krakow and beat them by 3-0. This team still terrifies me at times because of how good they've been over the years, but to get the 3-0 win this comfortably against them, I'm delighted with it, and it's a sign that we are a good team here. And then we went to Shakhtar and beat them by 0-0 in Donetsk, and this is a game I genuinely was concerned about, even though we've beaten PSG, mostly because it's away from home. I don't know how we're going to do away from home in Europe. So the fact we've beaten them in Ukraine by a 0-0 and have now gotten 4 wins in our first 5 matches and have already broken our best tally for points in the league phase of the Champions League is delightful. Yes, really, this is already my best season for points in the league phase of the Champions League after just 5 matches. I couldn't believe it even when I realised that was the case, but it's great. We're doing really well this year, and we're beating some big teams. And then we went to Krakow and only drew 0-0 again. For some reason, I feel like my team is frustrating me, and I don't know why I'm frustrated by this team, but they're really good at times, and then they just capitulate and just fall flat on their face, and it's very disappointing to say the least. But we're winning the good games, like in European matches, and then just being disappointing in the league. It's very frustrating how hot and cold we can be at times. Tells me that this year is going to be a bit more difficult to win the league in, but hopefully this is not a sign of things to come. But then we took on Katowice in the third round of the Pucharski. We're in the quarterfinal. We're taking Pogoń Szczecin next in that competition, and a good win, really. It was comfortable as well, even if most of the stats say otherwise. They had 5 shots off target and they weren't very good chances. So really, we were comfortable throughout this game, and we could have done more. And that's me being very, very arrogant when I say that, but it was a good win regardless. We then took on Górnik Zabrze and waited until the 80th minute to get the winning goal. So, good win, 3 points, delighted. I'm hoping this is not a sign that we're going to have to wait for so long to do things all the time now, but a good win's a good win, and it's wonderful. And then we went to Wolfsburg and had to come from behind to get a draw. First time this year we've had to come from behind in the Champions League, and for the first time this year we've drawn and not lost the game, having conceded first. So, Jean Carlos got a penalty. It was disappointing to see how the penalty was given away, but we equalised. Admittedly, this is going to sound very bizarre for me to say this out loud, but I went cautious for this game away from home because Wolfsburg are quite good. They're doing really well in the league phase of the Champions League. They've beaten PSG as well, so apparently us beating PSG isn't as special anymore, which is very disappointing to say the least. But Wolfsburg are beating PSG. They were in the top 8 when we'd taken them on, and I thought I need to give them some respect. We did. Then they got the penalty. Then they went back to balance, and we scored immediately afterwards. So, should I have gone balance the entire match? Potentially, but if you look at the stats for the match, even if you take away their penalty XG, I think they still would have been the better team regardless. So, perhaps we stole a point here. I don't know, but we're unbeaten in the Champions League, and we've got 2 games left against International, so good signs. Very good signs. Then we took on Pogoń Szczecin, and we got lucky. I'm going to say this with a straight face. Their penalty wasn't saved, and it wasn't wide either. They literally skied it. The guy that took their penalty legitimately skied his penalty. I've never seen it done so badly before. What is his penalty taking anyway? He's got 7 penalty taking, the one he skied, but yeah, very bizarre that a left back was taking penalty and that he skied the penalty. It's perhaps the worst penalty I've seen so far in the save, and that's saying a lot. But yeah, we got lucky here that we only drew when I genuinely thought for a second we were going to lose this game. But perhaps we're lucky. But we got this team in the cup, so we need to do better against them soon. They got our number this year. We've not beaten them. We've drawn against them twice, and that's it. Robert Kowalski seems to be doing a lot. He seems to be having a good time here. And perhaps he's leading his new club to the title. Through for fault, even though he's not a starter. Then we took up Wisła Łódź and won at the 91st minute of the game. This wasn't great. I genuinely don't know what's wrong with my team right now sometimes. Admittedly, Binecki had an XG of 1.1 and didn't score, so that doesn't help. But we still won. We deserved the win. We should have won by more. And if things had been going as well as they should be, we're winning this game comfortably, but we didn't. It's not been going as crazily good as it has been in the past couple of years. It doesn't help that Pogoń Szczecin and Lech Poznan are actually sticking with us this year, and that we've already dropped more points this year than we have done in many, many times, and that says a lot. So, Pogoń Szczecin, top of the table by 2 points, and their goal difference is only 3 behind us, so it's not like we've been amazing ourselves, and it's not like they've been terrible. So perhaps we should be disappointed with that point of view. Lech Poznan have got more wins than us this year, but have just lost more games, so that's why they are behind us, and they've got the worst goal difference. Wisła Kraków are only 4 points behind us as well, so the top 4, 6 points within each other. It's not been our best year, but I'm hoping we can change things up sooner rather than later, and that we're not going to be made to pay for our missed opportunities. We've only failed to win 6 times this year, but given how good the other teams around us have been this year, that feels like a massive problem. The fact we've already lost more games this year than we did last year is also annoying. And in fact, have we already dropped more points? Yes, we've already dropped more points this year than we did in the entirety of last year. Now, admittedly, last year was outstanding. The fact we only conceded 10 goals is actually incredible. I didn't realize how good we were defensively until now. But the fact we only conceded 10 goals last year is a good sign of what we did. We've only conceded 7 goals this year, but we've already drawn and lost more games this year than we did the entirety of last year. So that's a lot of points dropped already, but it also doesn't help our point of view that the teams around us are also doing better this year. So should I be concerned? I don't think so right now. I think with the 15 games left for the winter break, we should be fine, but you never know what's going to happen next. As mentioned though in the cup, we have got Poker Sweatsim. We should be doing okay. We're at home. They have got some big games coming up as well themselves. And apart from Lechia Dines and Lechia Vorsaval, they're the biggest team left. And I generally think we can win this game. I really do. I want to win it for the second time in a row and for the third time in 4 years. Lech Poznan, who won it 3 of the last 5 years, are already out. Lechia Vorsaval knocked them out. So there's that. I want to be the party pooper and just win everything now, because I don't like the idea that we can't win it all now. And if I'm not winning all the competitions, then what's the point? In my mind, at least things are going much better in the Champions League. Look at this. We're actually second. And we've already got ourselves in the playoffs round. So that's convenient. We're 7 points clear of any teams below us. So that means we're going to finish above the likes of Salzburg, Shakhtar, Newcastle, Dynamo Kyiv, Lyon, and Anderlecht. PSG are down in 30th place. They've lost 4 times. Now they've lost to ourselves, Wolfsburg, Arsenal, Bayern Munich. They've had a terrible year so far. They could only draw one against Real Madrid, who, let's be honest, are a good team. And Roma's the only team they've beaten this year. Roma, who we drew against, are down in 12th, just 3 points behind us. And we've got Inter and Arsenal in the last 2 games. If we draw against Inter, they cannot catch us. They're our next opponent. And the game after that is Arsenal. And if we can beat them, we're in the top 8 as far as I'm concerned. So 1 win away we are for the top 8 positions. As far as I'm concerned, that's a realistic possibility now, having put ourselves in this position. Inter have been beaten by Arsenal and Liverpool. They've drawn against Lyon. They've beaten Monaco, Real Sociedad, and Zamax. I don't know how to say their name, but Arsenal, they have beaten Juventus, PSG, Inter, and Chandia. They've lost to Roma and Monaco. So it's not like they've had some easy or bad games here, but it's the idea that we can actually legitimately get a top 8 finish in the league phase for the very first time and look really good doing it. That being said, I should look at the other teams in Europe and what they're doing. Lech Poznan are down in 24th place, so they're not having a great time. They've only been in Astana. They have drawn against Stade of Liège, Villarreal, and Betis. So one team you'd say is good, the other 2 teams not so great. But they've lost to Groningen and Leipzig. Leipzig I understand more than Groningen, who are only 17th, so there you go. Leipzig are also 12th, but they're a good team. There you go, Jagiellonia, who have only beaten Hartberg, who are surprisingly of all teams in 9th. They've drawn against Torino, which is also a great draw when you think about Torino being who they are. But then you look at the teams they've lost against, and it's not pretty. Reims, understandable. Club Brugge, more understandable. Levski Sofia, don't understand it. Ajax, understandable. So, yeah. If you took the Levski Sofia game, that's a winnable game they should be winning. They'll be up into at least 24th with a victory there. So, they've been terrible this year, and I cannot excuse it. Europa Conference League, they've already finished their games. And the 2 teams from Poland are in the top 24, just about. So Poker Sweatsin, they won 3 games. They beat Nice of all teams. I don't know how that happened, but they beat Luzern and Dynamo Batumi. But they lost to Atletico de Madrid, who I understand. Konyaspor beat them. Less understandable. And yes, I don't understand that either. Cracovia beat Dynamo Batumi. Understandable, that makes sense they could do that. They also beat Donetsk, and they then drew against Luzern. Do not understand it. They should be winning that game. And they lost to Udinese and Atletico Madrid. The 2 games I can understand. But their other defeat, I don't understand it. Even if they are in 20th, they should be winning that game regardless, as far as I'm concerned. So there you go. But we've already got 10.1 points this year in the coefficients right now, and that's delightful because as things stand, we're one of the better teams. Liechtenstein are amazing, I feel like. And I think it's because of the fact that they've only got one team to worry about in Verdez. So, for those, how do you say their name? I don't even know, but they're doing really well because they've got the one team. It feels like that inflates their coefficients, but we're just behind England right now in the coefficients for this year. Spain and Germany are the top two right now. Italy and Liechtenstein and Portugal afterwards. We're down in 7th, but we're doing a good year. As things stands, we're going to go above Turkey, which is delightful. We should be okay afterwards. But yeah, Turkey, we should be overtaking. We should also be overtaking Ukraine, which is delightful. So that's already 2 nations we're going above. So as things stand, we're going up to 11th place. The Netherlands, I think we can catch. I truly believe it. If they continue to have a bad year and they don't do much better, but 11th place right now is realistic to go for. I kind of need the Czech Republic and the Netherlands to have bad years. Czech Republic having 214 years is really annoying, but the last 3 years have not been great for them. And we need the Netherlands to continue having bad years. So if we can catch these nations, that'd be great. But this is already our best year in a very long time, and I hope this continues. I really do. We've now got £148 million in the bank, which is delightful, and I hope that continues to grow ever more. I will say, despite the fact that the board are disappointed with the fact we're not winning the league right now, they are still holding me in high regards with a B-. So clearly they remember what I've done over the years, and they are content with this, and they like what I've done in the Champions League. And the fact that we are on course to win the Pucharski is also important. So kind of concerned about what happens if I don't win either the league or the cup this year. Could I be sacked? What I'm going to do though is end this here. I hope you guys enjoy yourselves. I hope you guys will like and share this video, and that you'll subscribe to the channel. It really does help me out a lot. Could I be sacked if I don't win the league or the cup this year? And could this be the year we get to at least to the round of 16 of the Champions League for the very first time? I want to hear your thoughts and opinions of that down below. But anyway, until next time, goodbye and well, good night.